What's up, folks? Welcome back to TacticalTortoise. My name is Trevi, and today I'm here to talk to you about the ruins of Perdition. Now, I've reviewed a ton of different terrain sets on this channel for you for Warhammer 40k, and they all have their own strengths and weaknesses. Some are designed to be easy to assemble, some are designed to be robust, some are designed to be the most aesthetically pleasing, but they, generally speaking, are all designed to be assembled. Even things like hard plastic terrain or MDF terrain that comes in a flat pack is typically designed to be either push-fit or glued together and remain together for its entire lifespan. The downside is, obviously, those take up a lot of space. And so today we're talking about the Ruins of Perdition terrain set, which has been produced by Mini Wargaming. Now, Mini Wargaming has asked me to take a look at this, and they sent me a set to take a peek at. They're currently running a Kickstarter for this terrain. If you take a look at the link down in the video description, based on when you watch this, that will either already be live or you'll be looking at the preview. The aesthetic is relatively standard. They are Gothic ruins that are designed to fit in with 40k and other Gothic sci-fi miniature games, and they look great and they fulfill the theme. I would say, in fact, they probably fit the theme and look a little bit nicer than most of the terrain sets in this kind of field. They are very much designed to be extremely similar and almost even mesh into an existing collection of Games Workshop terrain. But these terrain sets are designed entirely to be detachable. They have all been designed around magnets. Each of the terrain segments has been designed for a series of magnets to be glued into it. They also have connector pieces, and all of these can be magnetized together, where the magnets are flush with the connection points, and all of these terrain features can be assembled with a single snap. That means that at the end of the day, once you're done, you can just take out the entire terrain feature apart, and you can flat pack all of these into essentially just their 6x6 components. The assembly and disassembly process is seconds. It's essentially like taking apart a giant Lego set. You just tear it all down and throw it in a bag, and you're good to go. And suddenly, instead of your collection taking up an entire cabinet worth of space, it's now down to the size of a shoebox, and that's enormous. Now, I've mentioned already the aesthetic quality of the terrain features, and it does look good. I will mention that these are FDM 3D printed. They are going to be 3D printed in-house by the folks over at Mini Wargaming. They're going to be doing all of their production in-house, which certainly will remove some of the big question marks that Kickstarters will typically have, especially when setting up complex stuff like injection molding processes. This Kickstarter is not going to be going through any of that, and given the fact that clearly these are all designed and have been proofed, they can be produced as soon as the campaign has been completed, so you'll get your stuff pretty quickly. The printers that they're using are high resolution, so you can't tell very much that it is 3D printed. If you do run your finger along the flat edges, you can sort of tell that there's a little bit of a texture there, but it's not particularly noticeable, and of course it allows them to do things like precision apply these spots for the magnets themselves. The assembly process is also incredibly fast. All you have to do is glue the magnets in here. Obviously, this is a pretty easy process, which is good for me because I'm always scared of using magnets. You just have to make sure that your polarities are correct, and if you do that, then they will essentially go together for you as long as you don't mess up any of the magnet directions. All you have to do is put a little dab of glue and inset them into the little hole that's on the terrain feature, and you will be good to go. It takes about, I don't know, maybe 30 seconds per piece, which means the entire thing can be prepared for assembly in just a couple of minutes. Now, for the basic ruins, each of these is designed to be compatible with competitive play. Each of these panels are almost exactly 6 inches. They'll also have some other ruin panels that can go along the sides that are not quite 6 inches, meaning that if you are playing on the normal 12x6 footprint used by things like the Pariah Nexus terrain set or the WTC terrain set, these will fit right on top of that without overlapping. Now, the folks over at Mini Wargaming are obviously very into narrative play as well and good-looking battlefields. That's obviously one of the primary driving factors behind the style of terrain and why it is so heavily detailed. They also have some additional add-ons that are available on their Kickstarter, such as enormous ruined statues, which I actually think are some of the coolest things inside this entire collection. There are enormous statues that are meant to look like they're either under construction or they're in an active battlefield, and they are super cool looking. They fit really well with the 40k aesthetic, and they look great on the tabletop. Unfortunately, I don't have one to show you right now, but I will put up some pictures here because they do look phenomenal. You can get this all at an affordable price as well. $250 USD on their Kickstarter gives you a full competitive table's worth of terrain, and then once you're done, you have an entire table's worth of modular terrain that you can entirely deconstruct into its component parts and then reassemble super quickly, which is very unique, especially when compared to many of the other terrain sets that we have talked about on this channel. So go check out the Ruins of Perdition Kickstarter down in the link in the video description and help the Mini Wargaming crew make this new, well-designed terrain set come to fruition. Thanks for watching all the way to the end of the video. Thanks to the Ruins of Perdition crew for sponsoring this video. Remember to keep it classy, folks, and have happy wargaming.